Yes, I do. I got it. And we
Hey,
are
we are
live.
live. What is going on, everyone?
What's going on, folks? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Run and Gun Podcast. Tonight's going to be very special, actually. You might want to have two forms of media streaming tonight. Also, Trey from the No Disrespect But podcast is here to join us as well. So, what's going on, Trey?
Not much, man. Excited about all this good football we're about to partake in this weekend. So um, it's exciting, man.
Hey, I heard you. I heard you. Like I already
That's
told
great to
people.
hear.
I told people. I said, don't hit me up for no weddings. Don't. Nobody better die. Don't nobody have no babies. Don't nobody have no baby showers and stuff. Don't nobody have none of that. Not during this time of the year. Like
You
we
will not be
finna.
seeing me.
Okay, look. Okay, you definitely won't be seeing me. But as you know, yeah. So how tonight's gonna go, folks, is I'll be here for the first two portions of the show and stuff, and then I'm gonna dip out. I'll be heading over to ONG Strike Zone tonight to discuss the season with them. So definitely still, if you have a phone and a laptop, or a phone and a tablet, or just a laptop and a tablet, watch both shows.
I mean, most likely a phone and a laptop is most likely.
Yes, that's true.
Or
That's true.
if you have it doesn't matter. Anyways, be a friend to our friend, like, share, subscribe. We have college football is back, guys. Like we are fully into the football season. We don't have to worry about that no more. One more week of NFL preseason 2, and then we have the bye week, and then the fun really begins on that side. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're gonna keep this short piece to go. We have a new intro, maybe. I don't know if Peeps actually has it this time.
We
Hopefully
do.
he does.
We have it.
So we're officially in our regular season. Preseason was last week. All the glitches and stuff, we got that out of the way last week. This week we should be good. The air condition works for a change. I made sure before I came on that the air condition worked. So we're good. Now, JP, run this intro and let's get going.
Let's do it.
Hey, this is JP.
This is Ace.
This is Dalton.
And you are listening to
And you are listening to the Run and Gun Podcast.
I need some higher quality videos, man. I don't know where these people find high quality sports videos, but like all these videos are so low quality.
I mean, I thought you did all right. I thought you did all right.
I thought it was good quality that doesn't get you sued by the NFL. So you noted, right?
All right. So first thing to start off tonight is because I got to open up with it, of course. And plus because Trey's here, I know he's a huge Shane Sperry fan. So I didn't know how you feeling about South Carolina State being picked to finish first in the MEAC this year.
I think they got it right. I mean, I know coming in it was a really young team. Coach Berry kind of getting his feet under him too there. So I think they kind of put some people on notice after last season, and so them kind of being picked first is just kind of you're late to the party. You want to put them at the top, but I think they're going to be a team that displays it. Just knowing how Coach Berry runs his camp, expectation was nothing they ever feared. I'm at Benedict College, and I don't think he's going to have that type of mentality going into this year with South Carolina State. So looking forward to seeing what they do this season, but I am expecting some big things, and hope they can return to the Celebration Bowl.
Yeah, I hope they can too. I would love to see a rematch of last year's matchup between them and FAMU happening
That
in
would be
Atlanta.
that would be rushing like what 50 times each, just grind it down your throats.
More than likely, because old school MEAC matchup, ground and pound,
Yep.
physical.
Mm-hmm.
It would be that type of game. But speaking of Atlanta too, we got a matchup in Atlanta this weekend: Southern versus NC Central.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know, it's just who has the upper hand. It's showing you that graphic. NC Central picked to finish second in the MEAC. Last year got humbled by South Carolina State, who won the conference, and then Southern. Both these teams they won four out of their last 5 games last season each. So it's gonna be a fun matchup. I do. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, oh snap! Like this actually this ain't no cakewalk for NC Central, because that's who I was going with as my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for it. You got Walker Harris, who's at quarterback for Norfolk State, and then NC Central. Yeah. Walker Harris, quarterback for NC Central, Max Urian, linebacker over there. And then, of course, for Southern, they got an LSU transfer, Trey Hawley, who, had some off-field things. And now, I guess, he's RB1 for them. So the world's going to find out about this kid. So we'll see what happens. Shout out to Goat Year for posting the stream. Appreciate you, man.
Shout out Goat Year. Now this is gonna be an interesting game. NC Central had their moments last year, but I do believe didn't they lose to Howard, right?
No, they beat Howard. They
beat Howard.
They lost to South Carolina State on national. Yeah, it was a national TV game. Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I was trying to remember which one it was, and I'm like, yeah, it was embarrassing for them. So they got some stuff they gotta shake it off, come back this year, fresh year. I think they'll be fine against Southern. Generally, when the MEAC plays the SWAC, the physicality differences are what plays the biggest factor in it. So I think they should, keyword there, should be fine. But, anything can happen early in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the thing is like the SWAC has won the last 3, because I think Alabama State beat Howard.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jackson State beat South Carolina State, and then last year FAMU beat Norfolk. So they're going for a fourth one, and then of course the last 2 Celebration Bowls have been won by the SWAC. So everybody's always been saying, the MEAC was the powerful conference. They had the power versus the speed. I mean, FAMU was a blend of both. And then
FAMU came, stole their lunch money, and made the SWAC adapt. That's pretty much what happened.
Literally. And then the funny thing too is someone was saying. And as I pull up the FCS poll as well, someone was saying FAMU's had the best quarterback in the conference outside of Shador every year since they entered. And I'm like, damn, they have. I mean, even Dion used to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I'm looking at this obligatory. Shout out Montana State, clutched up against New Mexico last year. Shout out Montana State. That is our champion of the Running Gun podcast. Doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, they did. Oh, boy. Hey, that was good, man.
I'm sorry. I see Montana State, and that's what I think about. You know what I'm talking about. The people who don't know it's an inside joke. Trey, sorry. But I just had to say that one. But, Jackson State at 17. That's about right. I'm not surprised FAMU's not on here, or any other SWAC team, really.
Yeah, I mean, I would say
Austin, shout out them. They're cool. I like them a lot. Stephen F. Austin.
Really, you do
23.
You like the Lumberjacks?
Yeah.
I don't got nothing against him. Shout out Kevon Harris, Magic Legend. That's why I like Stephen F. Austin.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah, we got what is that 2 Southern Conference schools, and UIW being top 5, and SFA at 23. So I think that's kind of good for that conference, which I graduated from, but also work in. So kind of seeing 2 teams in the top 25. I know Southeastern Louisiana, my alma mater, is not far behind within those rankings too. So
Yeah, no, they're not, dude. I'm telling the one time I watched them, and that it was that FCS playoff game in
Oh, I remember
2021.
that game.
Dude,
That was a beatdown.
when
Yeah,
I tell
sorry, not
you,
sorry about that. You know.
no, dude, honestly,
That was
I
just a
will say
mismatch.
it was like at that time I was looking at it, I was like, dude, they got guys attacking and making plays from every position on the field. Like they
Mhm.
got running backs coming out the backfield going deep. They got, they'll line up a flanker. I'm like, dude, what
Yeah,
is
yes.
happening right? It was just so much creativity. And then it was like, then they wouldn't play James Madison, who eventually would
Yeah.
now FBS. And
Yeah, James
they got
Madison, that program in the last 5 years, my God, they've been
Mhm.
going cray.
exactly.
That's how you build a
Telling you.
program right there. If you want,
Mhm.
if any small school wants to see how to do it, just watch like North Dakota State, James Madison, South Dakota. Those are your cream of the crop kind of things, So
Yeah. I will say outside of looking at the HBCs, I am expecting a big year, of course, like not only out of like the top 3 teams there, but
Mhm.
I'm also and 7. I do think 7's a little too low for Montana, but I'm expecting a lot more out of the Mercer Bears this year. I'm expecting a lot out of them.
oh yeah,
For sure.
UIW is the one that beat Notre Dame last year, right?
No, that was Northern
Who?
Illinois.
No,
That's a
that's
FBS.
Northern.
Northern Illinois.
No, UIW. They're a private school, so they don't have to play games like that.
Okay,
They
I
they get
know it
enough
was one
money
of them with
for
the
it.
I in there. I just couldn't remember which one it was. My fault.
But that's where
Yeah,
Cam before he transferred out.
right.
That's right. I remember
So
hearing
yeah,
that one.
Cam Ward was there. They had Zach Calzada as their quarterback the past couple years, a Power 5 transfer, so that helped elevate a lot of their guys. But he then transferred to Kentucky this past offseason. So I know they just named their new starting quarterback. Very excited about this season, but the Southern Conference is wide open. Got to pull East Texas A&M up in there. I think they can make a run first year. That we'll be able to participate in the playoffs if we make it. After moving up from Division II. So Southern is kind of wide open. UIW's picked to finish first. Stephen F. Austin's picked to finish second, as you can see. But the hope is that you can try to get 3 teams in. Like we definitely should have got 2 in last year, but we're hoping we can get 2 to 3 teams in the playoffs this year.
Nice. And then also too, I know it wasn't on the script, but the SWAC volleyball preseason polls came out. Well, not poll, but the predicted order of finish came out.
Mm.
And as you can see, you got FAMU, Jackson State, Bethune in your top 3. Prairie View at 4. Alabama State rounds out your top 5. Last year, FAMU, they won the SWAC in volleyball, and I guess they're predicted to win it again. So
Not surprised. Them Lady Rattler volleyball is good. They've
very,
been pretty good the last 4 years.
they've been good since
They've
they
been
came
in
in the
it.
SWAC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The last 4 years. This is year 4 I've been here. That's crazy. We're old.
Dude, don't get me started. Don't get me started, man. All right. So with that being said, too, and I know they'll discuss it tonight over on ONG as well. So again, for those in the comment section that are watching, yeah,
I'm trying to
that's
pull up
true.
Kaylan's thing, and for some reason it is not working.
But yeah, for those of you that are watching, yes, make sure again that you watch both podcasts tonight. Once again, make sure you're watching this one and ONG tonight. Even when I peel out and head over to ONG tonight, make sure y'all are still watching this one as well. Ace is going to be in charge of running the show when I dip out. So just wanted to let y'all know that as well. But, and speaking of FAMU as well and ONG, I know it'll be talked about tonight. Colsey promised us today at the 220 QB Club meeting there would be a starter named. But after the fact, this is what he had to say. So I'm just listening in. He said a starting quarterback won't be named until we meet with our offensive staff. He said, and I quote, "I want to respect the process for both guys, and I want to meet with our offensive staff, and I want to talk with them first." And then he said and Vaughn Wilson, who he basically has his hand in everything too, he said that he would contact Vaughn and put it in an email to everybody in that 220 QB club. And I'm like, okay, like, geez, dude, you're killing me, man. All right. Oh, there he is.
Hey, what up,
What's up,
Sasser?
Mr. Sasser?
What up?
Hey,
Yeah, Kyle.
Hey, Colsey, yeah. Nah, I'm gonna be fun. I was not gonna be shocked if Kellen Moore does the same thing tomorrow. He said he's gonna announce the starters soon, and I'm like, bruh, see what Colsey did today. I'm like, I would not shock me if he did the same thing like tomorrow.
Dude,
I'm
hey,
just
look,
like, if he like told Sean Payne or something like, hey, I'm not, we won't announce who the starters until like game time, like for Q's QB1. That would be just like, I'll take that, just to be petty on Sean.
like I was sitting there, I'm thinking like, okay, because like he was like the starter, and he was like, it won't be named, and I was like, oh man. Which
The sun will come up. It's just with the matter of which time you're talking about. The sun will come up.
That part, because I was like, you know what? At this point, look, I don't. Let me just find out when I get to Miami. If I don't find out next Wednesday or between now and next Wednesday, I'll find out when the offense takes the field.
Who would y'all choose based on just kind of what you're hearing and thinking about who gives you the best chance to win?
So it's been between Jet Petty, who transferred in from.
He transferred
California
late though. That's the
JUCO.
only issue. That's my only
Yeah.
issue with him. He
But they
came
say
in,
he's-
I want to say like June,
Yeah,
almost July.
yeah, and they said he's looked good. You know, they both, him and RJ Johnson, who's from the Atlanta area, played a little bit at Toledo. They both had a good, understanding of the offense and good command of it. But at the same time, too, it's like, you just never know. Now, I've heard, and personally, I would say Jet, because, and again, like I've said that, Jet reminds me of like Bo Nix, Justin Herbert type, the way he throws, and the way, and that's true too. RJ was late as well too. Yeah, neither one played in the spring game.
That's true.
But yeah, that's who Jet reminds me of. Bo Nix or Justin Herbert, and just the style of play. So, if he can translate that to this level, then I think FAMU made a good decision. But again, RJ's there too. He throws the ball well. But the fact that both of them have picked up a good understanding of the playbook like that quick, that says a lot. So, I think whichever one can command the huddle the best.
My only request is please be able to navigate a pocket. Like I wanted to rip my eyeballs out watching Daniel Richardson last year, bro. Oh my god. You know what I'm talking about, peeps. You know exactly what I'm talking about navigating the pocket. Like this man, he would just like
I know.
Precious collapsing. There's a wide open gap right here. Just step up. Now I'm gonna just stand right here and get smacked and lose the ball. It was annoying.
All right. Let's head on over here. Well, we've got 12 minutes. Let's head over here. Well, 12 minutes till I have to dip. Let's head on over and talk a little college football. I had this image saved in the background. So,
new photo.
Ooh.
But we can't even see who it is, bro. Like, what kind of photo this is?
I know. So, the hammer got dropped, and a lot of people had a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was just hilarious to me because I'm sitting there and I'm like, geez, why are so many of these people just like so, like, it's Michigan. Like, why are y'all so upset? And then I see this and I'm like, oh, that's why. I'm like, I get it now.
Oh.
Yeah, Mr. Sasser.
Interesting.
The O has me dying right now. Just like how he said "oh" and then "oh."
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see if I have it.
Plus, one of the losses was against Michigan for their championship season. So.
Exactly, dude. And then
in their own house,
and a bitter bloodbath, no less.
Yes,
ending. Everyone's sour.
Flag planting. And then my thing is like you have an Ohio State account saying, "Oh, well, you know what? I would take. I don't care if we lose to them again, as long as it means winning a championship." I'm like, how about you beat both?
Exactly.
Do a repeat. Stomp them in the ground. That would be Then you have like a bittersweet like taste in your mouth and be like, you know what? give it back to them.
Which honestly, I don't. Oh man, it's not as big as I thought it was going to be. Dang.
Well,
All right.
What
You
if
know
we put all 4 of us on the side and make it here? Let me see something. One sec. There
we
you go.
there you go.
So yeah, so this is basically the slap on the wrist, a $50,000 fine plus 10% of the budget for the program. I guess Jim Harbaugh is like banned for 10 years. And then Denard Robinson, what? 3-year show cause order? Jeez, this is the same Denard Robinson that was on the cover of NCAA 14.
Yes,
right?
it is the same cover. That's like so random.
I that just popped in my head. I forgot he was. I know
So
he was on program there.
This is all over because of the flag planting, or is this more than that?
No, this is for the
because-
signs.
No. This is for when they were recording people's signals and stuff.
Yeah.
Signed people.
Oh, when they got caught with the
Yeah, there was. He said,
oh.
Because there was a whole Netflix thing about. There's a Netflix series about this.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really shed too much.
25% reduction in football official visits during the 25-26 season. I don't think they care. They got one of the best quarterbacks stolen from LSU last year or this season, and they got one of the top running backs. I will not say his name because it's too close to a certain name. I just don't want to associate with. I feel bad for that kid growing up. Oh my god. Anyways, they got one of the top running backs, so I think they're fine on offense. Defense, Michigan's going to draw guys no matter what. That's nothing. 14-week prohibition on recruiting communication. I still don't think they care about that. That's not going to do anything for them.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Harbaugh, we know him.
There's a high-priced alumni that'll pay this fine.
Yeah.
Any of the fines.
Tom Brady could just throw some pocket change and pay that if he wanted to.
I don't know, man. My beef with sanctions has always been, it always comes so late after the actual infractions, and it doesn't penalize anybody that was a part of that. It only penalizes the young men and the coaches that come after that. I mean, during that season, when we found out pretty well into the year what was going on, the fact that they still allowed those coaches to coach, players to play, it didn't really matter. So they got what they wanted. I mean, you could even go as far as stripping the wins and stripping the title, but we all got to watch that run, and they looked good doing it. So,
yeah,
I mean, they don't really care. They're always going to be national champions, whether we say they achieved or not. I mean, we watched the games, and they beat who they were supposed to beat. So it just kind of sucks that it wasn't kind of taken care of then. But that's just kind of how the NCAA has always been. They're always a day late and a dollar short when it comes to doing stuff.
Why is Sharon Moore getting a 3-game suspension for this, though?
I think he did some additional stuff.
He did additional stuff? I didn't know about that part. Okay, that makes more sense then. Yeah. I'm like, he was an assistant on that staff, right?
Yeah.
Or he was defensive coordinator at that point?
Because I think it was stuff, because somebody told me, because I had the same question, and they were like, well, yeah, he was deleting text messages and things like that, so he kind of had his own.
And they say somebody threw a phone in the river or something, or the lake or something like that?
Something like that,
something about that. I heard something about that.
Damn.
There's a weird whole situation there. But all right, anyways.
I know. Wild.
That's pretty much what this whole situation is. It's like, anyways, we'll just do this after Harbaugh's got his job secure for the next 5 years, as long as, the Chargers don't charger it up. He's going to be chilling in the NFL no matter what. And if that doesn't work, he can go to TV and still make money. So I don't think he cares. Denard Robinson's on the cover of NCAA 14. He really doesn't care.
Exactly. No. Now, the other thing, too, is speaking of 2 games, there's 2 scenarios here, and both are winless scenarios here. So, as we know, Ohio State plays Texas opening weekend. Oh, snap. Wait, here we go. Yeah. In the last 20 years, when a QB makes his first start against the number 1 team, he's 0-18. And Ohio State just named their starter.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said this, right? What Julian's saying. They said, all you got to do is not crash the car. That is literally his only job. Just don't crash. It's just literally just give the ball to Jeremiah and Carnell Tate and don't turn it over. Like, it's easier said than done, obviously, but, like, it's not like entirely inaccurate. They're not going to ask him to be like a Superman, like how Fields and Stroud had to be against like Alabama, like a Clemson and a Georgia those years they were there. They're not going to ask him, "Hey, we're going to need you to make like 50 plays for us to have a chance." Number 4 is the guy you let make it and make the guys have a chance for your game. That's literally your only job. 17-4.
Yeah. Now I will say, I'm going with Texas.
Defense is going to obliterate him.
Yeah, I'm
You
going
going
with
with
Texas.
Texas?
I'm
Going
going
with
with
Texas.
Ohio.
Yeah,
Not my only issue.
I'm going with the Ohio State on this one.
Caleb's going to eat Arch alive.
Julian's saying, he doesn't have he's a little bit more talented than Will Howard in terms of just raw talent. And so I think you'll probably see him make a few more plays that they didn't even really ask Will Howard to do last year. And he did really well leading to a national championship. But Texas, Arch Manning making his first, I say real start. He started, a couple games last year, but UT San Antonio and Louisiana Monroe, those aren't starts. You're getting your real introduction to college football. If this was in Austin, I'd pick Texas, but the fact that it's in the shoe, I'm gonna go with Ohio State on this one.
And then the other one that's happening the day, August 31st in Miami, is this one. And I did not know this, which it makes sense, but at the same time too, I didn't realize it. I was like, you know what, all those Jimmy Johnson teams that were talented. And speaking of Jimmy Johnson, I know y'all will hit on it later. But yeah, Notre Dame.
When was the last time Notre Dame played in Miami?
2017.
Oh wow!
That DeShone Kizer, or that the year after DeShone Kizer?
I think it was DeShone Kizer.
It was Kizer.
Yeah, because Notre Dame was they were fighting for a playoff spot, and then they went down there and got embarrassed.
Damn.
That would be the love.
It was 41-8.
Was on that team too.
Not much of a game there.
Yeah, it was. You expected a lot, but I took it away from.
In this favor, I'd be picking Notre Dame.
I could
see them turn it around. I could see them turn it around.
Do you know who's Notre Dame's quarterback this year?
Ooh,
I for the love of God, I have no idea now. I know they transferred in somebody because, obviously Riley.
Somebody.
They transferred in a guy, but I don't know who their starting quarterback is.
Yeah, that's my only issue with that is because Julian Love is really good, so I'm not too worried about the run game. But my issue is I don't know who the quarterback is to have faith to say Notre Dame. I feel like Notre Dame is gonna have those first 2 games are gonna be a little rocky for them.
Tyler,
and then they'll pick it up.
Tyler Buchner,
CJ Carr.
Wait, 2 different names. Yeah, I'm confused.
CJ Carr, according to Yahoo Sports.
First thing that popped up was Tyler Buchner.
Buchner, yeah, he
Thank you.
he rejoined the team, but I don't think he's playing because he was there, then he transferred to Alabama, then he transferred back to the
TJ
lacrosse team.
ESPN. He's a redshirt freshman.
Yeah, but Carson Beck's going to be leading the U, so I think he got a raw deal last year just in terms of the criticism. I think he's going to kind of revamp his career in Miami. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does just at a new place.
Yeah. And folks, with that, that's where I get off. I got to head over to OMG. Mr. Sasser, Ace, Trey. I'm
gonna hit Trey with some tough questions now. Actually, the fun questions, not really tough. This is the fun stuff. I'm sticking with college football for a minute there. All right,
JP.
Trey, what's your thought?
Yes, sir.
See ya, peeps. I will.
Y'all take care. Yeah. And remember, guys, still watch this channel. I know I'm leaving. Still watch this channel or watch both channels. I'm telling y'all, it's good stuff on both.
Do it.
I'm out.
He's not out yet. All right, now he's out. Unk's gone. All right, let's time to hit the fun hard questions. All right. So I know you saw the Thomas Castellanos comments he has been saying about Alabama. Mm-hmm. I just want to get your thoughts on that. What do you think Alabama? That's your team. I want to see what you're thinking about. Is it going to be a beatdown or a close game? No matter what, Alabama's still winning that game, even with Jamel or hurt. What's your thoughts on that game?
I think Alabama's they have a level of focus this year that I think didn't exist last year. Obviously, you're coming in on the heels of Nick Saban retiring and bringing in a new coach. A large contingent of your roster is decimated, so it's Coach DeBoer, while he did his best, there were certain things he couldn't implement because they're trying to keep guys from transferring, things like that. So I think this is probably the first full year we get to see what the DeBoer just style is in Alabama. So looking forward to that. I mean, I think it was always going to be a blowout. I just don't think Florida State is that team the way they've been before. The few years they had a really good run. I just don't think they're there right
Putting
now, and I
Travis
think that's
Curry,
largely in part because they don't have the quarterback. I mean, you had a really good quarterback for a really long time, and then you lose him, and that's one of the hardest things to replace at any level, but especially in college football. So I like Thomas Castellanos. Had a really good career at Boston College. Definitely can make plays with his arm and his legs, more his legs than his arm, but I mean, Alabama's going to take care of business. I mean, they're not necessarily worrying about what he's saying, and I don't think there's any reason for me as a fan to pay any more attention to it than they are. Um, the games have to be played at this point. I think, what is Thomas supposed to say, right? Oh man, we're playing this really really good defense, and I'm nervous, and I don't know how we're going to do. No, like he's supposed to talk up his guys, have that level of confidence, and I think Alabama and their players have to have to have a level of confidence themselves. So, I think Florida State's going to be coming out strong to try to show that last year was a fluke and that they should still be at the top of the college football world. But I think Bama has a point to prove as well, and to be able to go into a true road game and handle business in Tallahassee, I think that's something that could really kick off the true new era of Kalen DeBoer. So just excited to see what that looks like for them.
All right. And in 30 seconds, try to see if you can sell me on Ty Simpson. Because I saw him when he played USF as a freshman, I believe it was. Sell me on him. He did not look good, and that was not a good first impression. So I'm sure he's developed from that, but still, sell me on really quick.
I mean, the dude's the last of a dying breed of guys that stay loyal and work their behinds off for their opportunity. And so he's a guy that, he has his opportunity, and I don't think he's going to squander it. USF game, here's the thing. That's a game where there were two quarterbacks playing in that game that knew they shouldn't have been playing in that game, knew that they weren't ready. And it was more about the players around them than I think the quarterbacks themselves, because Tyler Buckner actually got that start during the time Tommy Reese, I think, was trying to implement some of his guys. And I think the team showed at that point in time that Jalen McMillan was their quarterback and played accordingly. So I thought less about what Ty or even Tyler Buckner showed during that game and more about what the team said. And I think what you're seeing now is that the team has decided that Ty Simpson is their guy. He was competing against Austin Mack, who was a Kalen DeBoer recruit who followed him from Washington. You got Keelan Russell, who's a top recruit that we got from Texas, who some believe would start his freshman year. But Ty, man, he's good. Like, he has it between the ears, which I really like. Has a really good arm, can still make plays with his legs. Like, the funny thing is, I think people assume just because he's white, he's not as athletic. But we're not going to have as the explosiveness that Jalen McMillan had as a runner. But, like, he's a guy that if you don't pay attention to him, he can be gone for 60, 70 yards at a time. So looking forward to seeing how he plays. I think he's going to be more of a true passer, getting some of those skill positions involved. Then we're going to be able to do a little bit more, open the offense up a little bit more than we did last year. I think, one, because our offensive line is better, but even 1A, I think we got some much better receivers. We'll talk about the Saints a little bit, but I think Alabama had gotten into this, we want fast. And they got short and fast, 5'11", 6-foot guys. Now you bring in a guy like Isaiah Horton, 6'4". Definitely got some guys in tight end position. So, look, man, Ty Simpson, he's going to be a guy, I think, in a 2026 class where there's a lot of unknowns. He could be a guy that plays himself up into the top part of this draft class coming up. So I'm excited. But, again, he's the last of a dying breed. And I think if he can showcase his last year in Alabama, that, hey, if you wait your turn and maximize that opportunity, you don't have to be going to 4 different schools looking for a chance. You can stay right at home. So looking forward to seeing what Tide does this year. Roll Tide.
All right. So I'm gonna do a quick one here. So 2 days ago, I guess Tennessee named Joey Aguilar the official starting quarterback. That's the one that basically was a trade for Nico. I said his name wrong. Sorry, whatever. But anyways, basically the UCLA. Yeah, UCLA Tennessee trade. So he is now the starting quarterback for Tennessee. I'm not sure what to expect with him, but that system is very QB friendly. John Heppel's system, they look a lot better in college than they do in the NFL, but it should help them. I guess they'll be competitive. I don't think they're gonna
Tennessee
be like top tier like they were last year, though. They did lose a lot of guys.
They look good on paper, but in theory, when they get out there, I feel like I don't know. I could see it like
I only brought Tennessee up because Sasser was in Tennessee for a minute there, so I was just trying to get him some stuff there before we move on. But also, Peeps just messaged me that FAMU versus Valley is the Georgia Football Classic. He doesn't know yet, but that's a little one there. But okay, do I have everything? I think I got everything. Oh, State of Hawaii is getting a $400 million Aloha Stadium for 2029. Yeah. So, bring back the Pro Bowl, please. That'll be nice.
That would be cool.
In Hawaii. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the Pro Bowl in Orlando. I don't know. It's like literally an hour up the road. I'm just not interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
But all right. Moving over now to the NFL. We have, let me see. He made a graphic for it, so I'm going to just talk about it real quick here. Just because he brought it up. This one's kind of fun. The Philadelphia Crimson. Philadelphia is so funny. Like, Howie Roseman, they all call him, a genius and stuff. But he literally just does, the common knowledge kind of things, common sense kind of thing, where it's we're taking guys from good schools who've had good players in Georgia and Alabama, Ohio State. They're taking guys, who've proven it at the college level that they're good, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this one was funny. Jalen Hurts was not in Alabama the same year Mechie came in. He was, I think, with Devontae Smith, though. Was the year's matchup on that? I'm not sure, but I know Mechie was a year after Smith. He was with Jalen. I know Mechie wasn't with Hurts. Hurts was
Smitty and Mechie played together. Mechie
wasn't with Hurts. I know that.
Yeah, so Mechie, his freshman year, he was there, but he just didn't play. So he was a teammate of Jalen Hurts as well. He just didn't play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eli Ricks, he just hasn't clicked it. It was funny. They had Eli Ricks, they stole him from LSU. They made this big deal about him. He just hasn't worked out in the NFL. And then Kool-Aid came, snatched his spot. And Kool-Aid and Terrion Arnold took over that whole cornerback room pretty much.
Yeah, it was more so Terrion. Yeah, because Kool-Aid has started since his freshman year. I don't know if it's fair to call Eli Crimson Tide. He's still more LSU in my mind than Alabama. I mean, it's like if you add Eli on this list, then you got to take Jalen Hurts off. It's kind of how you feel about it.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's for Eli, I feel like he Kayshon Boutte. He was supposed to be the successor to Jamar Chase LSU. Freshman year, he lived up to it, and it just progressively fell off. Eli Ricks was supposed to be the Stingley replacement. I felt with them, and it just never it was good that first year, and then it just kind of he got hurt, I believe, right?
Yeah,
and then it just hasn't. It wasn't the same for him. Jihad Campbell, that was a steal at 32. I believe they got him. Wow, with that shoulder injury. But Bond, Campbell, I believe. Nakobe Dean, he's gonna be out this whole year. He's coming back late in the year.
He'll be back. He'll be
back toward the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a hell of a linebacker trio right there for Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'll say.
Jesus. And so you got all these Alabama guys, and then you got the Georgia guys, and you're like, all right, Eagles, we see what you're doing there. It's not slick too much, but I get why Houston did the trade. It was just come on, could it be somebody beside the Super Bowl champs? I mean, Jahan Dotson, he has his moments, but he's not the Olave trade has worked out pretty well for the Saints if he can stay healthy. Because Brian Robinson's getting traded, Sam Howell's already gone, and we know Jahan Dotson's on the Eagles now, so that's pretty much that. But another former Alabama guy, Isaiah Bond, signed with the Cleveland Browns. They're making out the full Prison
Yeah.
team right there.
Mm.
The all prison team. So Joe Flacco's named starter for that. I'm not surprised. That's like
Yeah.
I don't want to say it was like a least obvious move or anything like that, but it was
Yeah.
just like it felt like that was what the plan was always going to be, no matter what Shitter and Gabriel did.
Mhm.
I didn't take too much stock in all that, but whatever y'all thoughts on that, you could drop them real quick. How do you think they're going to handle it between Shitter and Dylan?
For me, I think they're just going to kind of let them continue to compete throughout the year until it's time to move on from Joe Flacco. And then whoever's the guy that feels the most ready at that time, that's who's going to be the starting quarterback. Kind of similar to what we saw with the Saints last
Tennessee.
year. It's just you kind of
Okay,
let
Tennessee.
you knew who you wanted to go with, but you let Jake and Spencer continue to ballot it out in practice. And then when Derek Carr got hurt, they made the announcement that Spencer Rattler was going to get the start. So, but you know what? I got the script, and I don't know if it was Jay Peeps that sent it to me or you, Ace. I know Sasha wouldn't say this, but they described Dylan Gabriel's performance as meh, and I had a beef with
I did
that,
not make
man.
it.
I had a beef with that.
That's definitely
He
BP.
wasn't bad. I think that the pick was kind of like weird because like the receiver, I don't think he stopped running, but like he didn't like stick his hands out for it,
Yeah,
even though he would have had it.
Right. And
They're like, what do we want? Like straight through his arms. Like that was so random. So I was like,
yeah,
he
you
wasn't
just don't make
bad or
that
anything.
throw.
It was just,
Right, like you just don't make that throw. Like Dylan Gabriel, he's too experienced. I think he has 63 starts in college. Like he's too experienced to make that throw. Like I don't care that the receiver pulled his hands back. It was going nowhere. You had two receivers in the same area with two defenders just waiting on it. So you either pull it and run, or you don't, or you throw it away. But I mean, I thought he did good. I mean,
I give it like a
se-
solid 7.5 out of 10.
you know, like 72% of his passes were completed. Led 3 scoring drives, the same amount that Shador led. The difference is one of Shador's drives started within the 5-yard line. So that's how he
Yeah.
got one of his touchdowns. But he only completed 60% of his passes. So I don't know. Like when I was watching Dylan Gabriel, especially like those first 2 drives, like he was getting the ball where it needed to go, had some zip on it. So I was like, okay, like he's the guy I saw in college, to be quite honest. But when I saw
thought it
him
was
now, I was
really
like,
interesting though.
why y'all doing DG like that, man? Like he's a good quarterback.
I really thought it was interesting though that they said Shador was gonna start, and then like I want to say it was a couple hours later they announced he had an oblique injury, and then Dylan Gabriel was gonna start. I don't know, like that was just like a weird coincidence of events happening.
Yeah, I heard
But it
that
was like
too.
telling
I
me
was
like
huh?
you really wanted to see what Shador was gonna give you. I don't know if they were trying to like
Yeah.
what the whole plan is with that whole thing there, but
Yeah. The
anyways,
interesting thing is Kenny Pickett, right? Like he hasn't played at all yet. Like
nah,
what's going on
I
with
think
him?
Kenny Pickett's getting dealt next weekend.
Yeah,
Like for
me
like
too.
6 or 7. I don't know where we've talked about it, but I won't say it on here.
I'll say it.
About
He can go to the Saints. Like why not? Why not?
him
I
or
mean,
Jameis, honestly, give me one of the two of them, and I'll feel pretty good. Because honestly, from what I've seen, if that actually takes us straight into the Saints, that's fine.
Mhm.
I'll be real. From what I've seen from both of them, like I'd give both guys like solid 6.5 out of 10 ratings on their performances so far in the preseason.
Mhm.
Like Shuck's shown like some flashes there. Rattler's shown some flashes, but then there's a whole lot of bad mixed in it. And like you want to say that comes with young quarterbacks, but both of these guys are 25 and up. Like it's not like you can say they're young per se, but in the NFL they're young experience wise, and that makes sense. I don't know. I just feel like you need a guy who's been in the league a couple more years than what they have to help them develop too, because like you don't have a real vet in there right now. Because Hunter Decker, I believe, is what QB3. No,
I mean, he's not on the
Jake
roster
Hainer.
right now. So
He's been off and on.
Yeah.
Jake Hainer is technically QB3, but
Yeah.
he's the non-fact in my brain. I'm sorry, Hainer, but since day one, I did not like you. Anyways, yeah. What do you think about that quarterback situation? Who do you think is going to get announced as quarterback 1? And do you think he starts full year, or do you think they're going to see both guys this year? I think we're going to see both guys this year, to be honest. And they're going to decide next year if
Mhm.
who comes out, if they like anybody or not. What do you
Yeah.
think?
I don't know. For me, I think Spencer Rattler gets the nod to start against Arizona. I'm kind of with you. I think we see both quarterbacks at some point this season. This is I look at it as a trial run, and see
Pretty
who
much.
can take the job. And if we finish this year not feeling like either of them really made a stand, then you look into 2026 to bring in a quarterback. So, I mean, I will say this. I think if Tyler Shuck gets the job, I think Tyler Shuck plays the whole year.
Yeah.
I think if Spencer Rattler gets the job, especially with that gauntlet that we have, the first 6 weeks, I could very well see him getting benched if our record looks pretty bad. But I don't know. Like you said, I saw some good, some bad in both. But I think Spencer just kind of overall,
He has a
given
better
who he
command of the
played with,
game.
who he played against, some of the stakes in terms of the big plays that were made,
Yeah.
by how he handled pressure a little bit better than Tyler Shuck, which makes sense because Tyler Shuck is a rookie. The game is still a little bit fast for him. So there are some things that he just doesn't see right away. But I guess kind of similar to that you saw some instances that Jake saw the game a little bit quicker than Spencer in some respects, right? It's just supposed to happen. But right now, like I said, I would lean towards Rattler, but clearly they're trying to go into this third game before they make a decision. So we'll see.
I'm gonna be real. I'm looking at the schedule, right? I think Shuck starts week 5, most likely. San Francisco has a lot of injuries right now, but you look at it: Cardinals, 49ers, Seahawks, Bills. There's a legitimate chance they're 0-4 coming into week 5.
Mhm.
And based what I've seen with that Giants D line, Cesar Ruiz, and I don't know if Penning's gonna be starting left guard or who's starting at left guard, but Dexter Lawrence is gonna get McCoy, but all they gotta do is they have Thibodeau, they got Burns, and they got Carter. All you gotta do is just move one of them over Ruiz, and it's rest in peace with whoever the quarterback is. So I don't even know if they can beat the Giants. I'm watching that and I'm like,
Good point. And then you got Sierra's husband as the starting quarterback over there. So it's a lot easier to beat him with Daniel Jones and what's my guy, the Italian, get Tommy DeVito.
DeVito.
They're the quarterbacks, but you get a little got a Hall of Famer at quarterback. Makes things a little bit different. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what who do you think starts opposite Kool-Aid? Alante? With that groin injury, I'm not sure.
I think Zeke starts opposite him to start the year. I think you can look at that position much like the quarterback position. I think there's going to be another cornerback that lines up next to Kool-Aid by the end of the year. It could be Quincy Riley, could be Rico Payton. The way injuries happen, it could end up being Alante Taylor, and you're putting the Ugo Amadi at the slot. So, but I don't think we found a solid cornerback yet.
Pairing yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of injuries, how about that nasty injury Jalen McMillan had?
Yeah, I was gonna get into that one.
Ugh.
So coming into the draft, right? We said the Saints would get a wide receiver, and whatnot, and then the Bucks took a wide receiver, and like a lot of NFL Twitter and not just like Saints fans, but a lot of teams were like, "Bro, why would you take a Mecca when you got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan?" Well, guess what? Chris Godwin's hurt. Jalen McMillan's out till week 9.
Yeah.
Mecca's pick is looking really like, I don't know, something happened to Jason Light after Jameis's 30 for 30, and he just like locked. I don't know what he did, but he just locked in like crazy. And I'm like, mad respects to you, bro. You've been cooking. I can't even hate on that.
Nope.
Taking a Mecca at that is like, I think they knew Godwin, like they did him more like right by him, giving him that contract when they knew the injury was bad as it was. So that was good on them for that. But then they also took a Mecca as like insurance for him not being ready to start. And if something happens to one of either Evans or McMillan, you're like screwed badly. So they were talking about Trey Palmer potentially being a cut candidate. Well, guess what? Trey Palmer's your wide receiver 3 now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Bucks got some pieces there. I don't know if they could keep the cornerback room between Benjamin Morrison. If he can like walk it down for them a little bit better than what Jamal Dean was doing, whatever the hell he was doing cardio last year, they'll be fine, I think, for the Bucks. And they got Teddy. I can't even hate on the Bucks. They got Teddy now. That's favorite quarterback since Breeze.
Yeah.
From like since I've
Yeah.
been a Saints fan, Teddy's the second favorite quarterback. So I can't hate on them for that.
Yeah. I
at
would
any
say if they
point.
end up cutting him, I would
Bring
just
him
bring him
back.
in. Just bring him in and be the adult in the room.
Yeah, him and DeMario as a vets, that'll be fine. Even though Teddy's the same age as Baker. Somebody told me that, I was like,
Wait,
I
what?
was
Really?
like, when somebody told me Teddy and Baker were the same age, I was like, what?
Whoa.
Excuse
Yeah.
me?
Interesting.
They're both like 30 or 31. They're like a
Yeah.
year apart, if anything. I was like shocked when I heard that. I didn't know Baker was over 30, but yeah, anyways, the Bucks got a lot of injuries, but they should be fine with the Mecca there. And like McMillan will be back by the end of the year. Godwin, I'm sure, will be back at some point this year
Mhm.
for them. But it's kind of how it is. I don't know if y'all saw, but Miles Sanders said Saquon's has only balled because of the Eagles' O line. I thought that was more of I don't want to say
Yeah.
pettiness, but it kind of like pettiness is too harsh
Yeah.
to say for him because he did win a ring with them in 2018. But like it was Saquon, and then Miles Sanders was his guy after he left and
Yeah.
things. So that's why I don't think it was like malice in that whole thing. I think that was just like friendly banter between like a Cowboys player and an Eagles player, kind of like.
Should I say he's right and wrong at the same time?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like
In the
nothing
sense
wrong with
of, so I had to write notes for this one. So Miles only had one 1,000-yard season in Philly. That was his last year. They ran for I think 1,300 yards, something like that, but hasn't even sniffed it since in those 2
got
years he was
hurt.
in Carolina.
Carolina,
And
though, to be
obviously
fair.
with Dallas now, DeAndre Swift, who replaced him, ran for 1,000 yards in his 1 year, like barely, like 1,049. A very Mike Evans like rushing performance. So he's right. Behind the Philly offensive line, I think the three of us could run for 1,000 yards. That's how talented they are. Saquon, behind a terrible New York Giants offensive line, had three 1,000-yard seasons. And in his first year with Philly, runs for 2,000. So it's kind of like you're right. He's more
there's like
successful because
levels
of
to
Philly, right? But there's levels. Exactly. There's levels. Like you get 1,000 behind that line. He gets 2,000 behind that line. So kind of right and wrong, but mostly
It's
wrong.
like
But
saying,
Saquon's talented.
how do I say this, right? There's like a Cam Thomas 25 point per game player, right?
Yeah.
But then there's a LeBron 25 point per game player, and you're like, somebody's trying to say like they're the same guy, but there's like the contextualization of it, and then there's also like, okay, Cam Thomas is getting 25, but nobody's gonna guard him like they're gonna have four guys on LeBron. Like if someone's trying to tell me, okay, I think the better example is like Paulo to Jalen Williams, right? You're gonna say, oh well, Jalen Williams is very similar to Paulo in statistics wise, but you're like, okay, Paulo, if you look at any Magic game, he's gonna have three players on him minimum, and he's getting his 28 points in the playoffs. Jalen Williams is getting 24 in the playoffs, but he's also have the MVP of the league right there, getting three guys. So there's like levels to when you're watching the two guys. Like they're both very good players at their point in time, but there's like levels to on the scale of what is happening. So, all right, this one I know Peeps wanted to talk about too. I have not seen the documentary yet, but I'm gonna wing it.
I have.
So,
I watched the first.
You have seen it? All right.
Just the first two
Sass
episodes.
is gonna take over for this one.
Yeah.
How many Super Bowls could they have they never been around? I'm gonna let Sasser take it over. Sasser, go first.
I only saw the first two episodes, so that's
more than me.
I would guess 4 or 5. I think at that stage, like after
4 or 5 more, 4 or 5 total,
or 4 like 4 to 5 total. 4 to 5 total.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they probably could have at that time.
Was at 95 or 96 he left.
90. Oh God, I don't remember.
He left in 94 because they won one 94. Without him. It was like 93. No, he left in 93 after they three-peated. San Francisco won the next year, and then they won the following year with.
I didn't know they three-peated. Because I was about to say I could see them three-peat, and then
I probably say three-peated. I probably meant to say back-to-back. I don't know. I think they won 3 and 4 years or something like that.
Yeah, honestly, if like Jimmy Johnson was still there, I don't think the Cowboys. I'll just say this: if Jimmy Johnson stayed there until like let's say 2004, So like if he left him with 93, you said, right? So if I give him 10 more years, right? I think they could win another probably like 2 or 3 in that span, minimum maybe.
Yeah.
I'd say 4.
I'd say as long as Jerry doesn't get too involved with player personnel, like to the extent that he did,
Yeah.
starting in like 2000.
For me, I think they win the one they won without him. I think they win that one. Now, I still don't think they win another because their guys started to break down. Troy Aikman started to get more and more concussions. Michael Irvin gets hurt, I think maybe a couple years after like their last Super Bowl. So I don't know.
Say,
I don't know
like,
if they
if Jimmy's still there, I just feel like the player personnel might have been a little more different, and Jerry wouldn't have as much control in that per se, to the extent that he did.
Mm-hmm.
So like I want to say,
he still would have been as like tough though as like a coach, because I watching that second episode. When you get to that second episode, I was like, damn, he made people walk out and quit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though. That's
even
like what
people
I'm saying.
He would just look. He was like, he had no problem being like looking at a player and be like, yeah, you're done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Jerry is an alpha, right? But Jimmy Johnson was that other alpha that could keep him in check. You know, like before Jerry could just like be all his own say, right? You had that other guy clashing with him to have like be a proper team.
And that's where the egos probably clashed, and that's why and towards the end,
Jimmy left eventually. But like, if you could have deterred Jerry from doing Jerry things, you wouldn't be in the situation where you'd have to go to the VCR days to watch a Cowboys Super Bowl.
And
yeah. How many Super Bowls could they have won? Never been a rift. I would definitely say
I'd say maybe 3 at max.
3 to 4.
3 extras at max because they won one without him, right?
Within that
one without
I'd say
you're talking about.
So if you include that one without him, I don't know. Like if you include the one without him, I'd say like 2 more.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. So I think that's actually pretty much it for the NFL section. Unless you guys got anything else for the NFL before I like do a quick hot topic stuff.
No, I don't have anything.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it short for the rest of it. All right. NBA. What's your thoughts on the San Antonio Wembies? What's your starting 5 looking at like between how do you handle the guard position? I just want to say between Harper, Fox, and Castle. I just curious on your thoughts.
I have Harper come off the bench. I'm starting Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, and then I'm starting Harrison Barnes and Wemby at the 5. I just think the issue that the Spurs had last year was not enough shooting. I think Stephon Castle's improved as a shooter, but obviously De'Aaron Fox, maybe after that finger surgery, is even better. Shooting the ball, you got to keep Devin Vassell in the lineup, and then you got to keep Harrison Barnes in the lineup. And Wemby just plays much better at the 5. Now, having Luke Cornett on the team and Kelly Ofer as well, there'll be moments where Wemby can kind of play the 4 and let those guys bang with the bigs. So in certain minutes, but I just think we're at our best when Wemby's starting at the 5. So that's kind of would be my lineup, and I would have like Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, like those guys coming off the bench, as well as Harper to start. But we'll see.
So I'm just like you guys have like I want to say it's kind of like it's like a good problem to have. You know what I mean? Like that phrase. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's like they're gonna have a problem in 2 years when Castle's due for his extension. But that's like a good problem to have, kind of, because like at some point you're gonna have to start Dylan Harper. But the more question is, you already gave De'Aaron Fox a max contract, but so how are you gonna handle that situation? Or do you think you're just waiting for a superstar to come available?
No, I think you're hoping De'Aaron Fox and just his caliber play style that gets you to the playoffs, and kind of getting more routine in that. And I think maybe by year 2, year 3 of his extension, you should really be a big player in terms of the Western Conference playoffs. But like for me, like there's no reason why the Spurs shouldn't be a top 6 seed. Like some people might think that's a lot to ask of a team that hasn't made the
I
playoffs
think
in
definitely
8
they're
years
definitely going to
now.
be in the play-in minimum.
But
honestly.
playing, I think, is just too small. I think the investment we made with some of the players, some of the guys we brought in free agency, like you gotta take that leap. Now, if injuries happen, which you hope don't happen, especially to Wemby this year, because I felt like they would have made the play in last year if Wemby doesn't get injured. But I think you gotta try to be a top 6 seed. Maybe if you're a 7 seed, and you have to be in the play in, sure. But I think they could be somewhere between 5 and 6. I'm not ready to say that they can have a home court advantage playoff series yet, though.
That makes sense. So, do you think Dylan Harper stays on the bench for 3 years or no?
I wouldn't
Or at
say
some
3
point, do you think we
years.
see 3 guard lineups?
You're definitely going to see 3 guard lineups. I mean, we technically start with a 3 guard lineup anyway. If you have Castle, Vassell, and Fox, I think probably after a second year, you'll probably see where you are. I think this is probably Devin Vassell. Like this is a year where you're trying to figure out if Devin Vassell and Keldon Johnson are a part of the future now, as opposed to everybody else. So if we still aren't really going anywhere, I can see a guy like Devin Vassell being moved, or a guy like Keldon Johnson being moved to make way in for younger players to get involved, or veteran players to really help us win. You know.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, a little quick one here. Between the NHL and NBA, the Carolina Hurricanes owner has bought the Portland Trail Blazers for about a little more than $4 billion. Excuse me.
Mm.
So it's kind of interesting on this one here, is because according to the Athletic and some other polls, like agents actually despise this guy. Like player agents, like they hate him so much. Because he has he's very, I don't want to say he's kind of like the Kings owner in terms of being involved with the operations of the team, but he's heavily involved in it, and like kind of almost like a pseudo GM in terms of negotiations with star players. And that's kind of what happened with the Hurricanes, where it's like, yeah, you were able to keep Sebastian Aho and Andrei Svechnikov, your 2 best players.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of guys that the Hurricanes had that were like in the I don't want to say they weren't mid players, but they weren't like superstar players, but they were in that middle upper tier.
They're like the older
and
veteran
they
players.
that too is like they always generally leave the Hurricanes. They've always had a hard time keeping those players. And like this year is finally they spent the most money out of anybody in the NHL, where they brought in Nikolai Ehlers, but they literally lost the year before with Jake Gensel, where they gave up a lot of like picks and prospects to get him, and he literally left in free agency for a 3rd round pick of sign and trade. And then this same season after that, they went and gave up one of their better players who didn't want to made it clear he did not want to. Their 3rd best player made it clear he did not want to resign there, and it was basically the Luka AD trade, where they brought in Mikko Rantanen, who was arguably top 6 player in the league, top 4 player in the league, depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
He said he's not re-signing there, so he left. And they brought in a young player who's cheaper and whatnot. So the reason I bring all this up is because the Portland Trail Blazers have a lot of young players on that team who have a lot of potential upside, but they don't have a bona fide star yet. And you want to see, okay, are you going to pay these guys when their time is up to do? Or are you not going to pay them, and are you going to cheap out? Because the Blazers I think are going to be a play-in team minimum, and they arguably could be a playoff team. I'm very high on that team. So I want to see, all right, is your new owner going to cheap out on this team, or is he going to be willing to go into the luxury tax when the time comes? I think Scoot's going to have a jump. You're giving Shaden Sharp the keys. You still have Drew Holiday and Dame, who Drew's still a very serviceable player. Dame is going to be back in the playoffs. That team is going to be good. And you have Dame for, I believe, he's on a 1-year deal now or 3-year deal?
He's on a 3-year deal, 3 year, like $47 million. But he's pretty much not playing next year. So
yeah. And you're going to have Scoot's extension to be due. I think he's going to be extension eligible next year. Shaden hasn't signed an extension yet, I don't believe. So you got all these guys coming in. Going to see, is the owner going to keep this team together for their long-term prospects? And another thing is, your owner's main team is in Carolina. Are you going to be looking to ever move the Trailblazers, even though they said they're not planning to? You never know when you have a new owner there. Is he willing to travel cross country every time to see manage two teams? Because that's pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys think that could potentially be a thing where Portland moves. I hope not, but I'm just saying it could be a possibility. I don't know what y'all think.
I mean, I think they may stay in Portland. I don't think it's gonna be like a Seattle situation. So I think they're pretty good. To your point, though, you were asking like, are they gonna have issues with paying players in Portland? I don't think so because those young guys aren't superstars. I don't even think he has to even worry about that yet. In terms of paying it, like Shadon Sharp and Scoot Henderson, like they're okay, good players at best, but you're not paying them top dollar. That's what they're demanding. So that he's kind of, I guess, in a good position of buying a team that doesn't have a superstar yet that he has to deal with. I mean, kind of take his time. But I tell you, it's showing that there's really a recession going on. These billionaire owners are selling. Boston, LA, now Portland.
The Lightning sold.
So
the Lightning, I think, broke the NHL deal record when they sold, if I'm not mistaken. But I think the Penguins are up for sale as well. The Penguins owner is trying to get out. I don't know who's. I think Fenway is supposed
no
to be
longer Amalie Arena.
No, Amalie. The Lightning's arena got renamed to
Centennial.
I don't know. I'm not entirely sure, but highest NHL team sale. Is it? No, I don't want the media deal. No, they're not showing me. But if I'm not mistaken, I think the Lakers $10 billion deal is the most in the league history. I think actually, U.S. history. Wow, damn, that's not surprising though. The Lakers have their own history. But you're right though. Definitely a recession going on. I'm seeing all these teams here. So Michael Jordan sold the Panthers. The Rockets sold a couple of years ago, but that's not entirely the same thing. But
interesting.
Mavericks, Mark Cuban got out in 22. No, that's a different issue that I'm not feeling like having that conversation tonight. Because we already know the NBA is looking at Vegas, and well, they gifted the Mavericks Cooper Flag. So I think they're waiting for LeBron to retire and make him an owner. I'm not entirely sure about that. That's speculation, but it would not shock me on that one there if he's going to be a potential owner of that Vegas group. Oh, one more thing before we head out. I'm just hopping over the place. WNBA, what have you been thinking about that? I saw Sophie Cunningham went out with, I believe, an ACL injury, if I'm not mistaken. That was sad to see. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of knee injuries coming up in the WNBA this last 3 weeks. I want to say a lot of ladies got hurt.
Yeah, they implemented more games, but not more breaks, and so they're having their players play a lot more in a shorter span of time. Their All-Star week was a weekend, if at best.
No, you're fine.
The All-Star weekend at best, and I think they're just putting too much mileage on their players. And I don't know, it's a league issue because now all these star players are missing time. Asia missed time. Fee's missing time right now. Obviously, Caitlin Clark's missed time. Angel Reese has missed time. And that's just a few players. There's been a multitude of injuries throughout the dub that if they want to continue to take advantage of the momentum, they need to figure out the scheduling because it was bad this year, especially with the injuries. So,
it really has been. I've been tuning in the last couple going on, but anyways, one more thing before we head out. Shout out Paige Bucker. I don't even know how you say her name. Buckets. I'm gonna just say Paige
Beckers.
Beckers. Yeah, I don't know. The BUE always messes me up.
The U is silent.
Paige Beckers, 19-5-4 this year. No one's really talking about it, but shout out her. She's been going cray. Because they always were talking about Caitlin last year averaging 20, but she's averaging 19. No one's really talking about it, so I just wanted to give a shout out on that one real quick before we head on out. So, with that all being said, shout out Trey for joining us tonight, the No Disrespect Bug podcast. Make sure y'all tune in to his shows. He airs on Tuesday, I believe, right?
Tuesdays, yep.
Tuesdays. Make sure y'all hop on that. That's always good stuff there. He talks about NBA and NFL mostly, and college football every once in a while, and some WNBA action too. So if you like all that stuff, make sure you tune in for his stuff. Me, Peeps, and Dalton will be back next Wednesday. Starting next Wednesday, if we don't have guests, we're going to be doing 2 separate videos where potentially we'll have the HBCU on a separate upload from the college football and the pro sports stuff to help find niche groups between y'all two. So people who want the college football and pro sports stuff doesn't have to wait the first 15 minutes of it. You're getting that at first on its own designated stuff because we found out y'all really like the HBCU content by itself. So, when we don't have guests, that's going to be hopefully the new goal there. So make sure y'all hop on that. Bigger things coming,
And hopefully an NHL podcast coming soon. Maybe.
I don't know.
In the works. In the works.
I don't know. Maybe potentially. I definitely want to do the Magic podcast this year. That's definitely coming no matter what. I'm tired of seeing a certain account be the face of Magic Twitter. I'm going to make a Magic account, bro. That dude just sets me off so much every time I see him. Anyways, be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. We will see you next week. Thank you, Trey, for joining us. I have to find this outro video. I have no idea where it is. Y'all stay safe, stay blessed.